Welcome to Stories with Dice. This is the Dark Blue Sea, a Mutant Year Zero actual play podcast. If you're enjoying our actual plays, please subscribe to Stories with Dice so you'll never miss an episode. Don't forget to rate and review us. It really helps others discover the podcast. Follow us on social media to stay updated, share your thoughts, and join the conversation. You'll find the relevant links in the description of each episode.
Hey, welcome back. It's episode 9, so I'm reliably informed all these episodes just turn into one. So I'd like to thank my wonderful co-host, Marco, for keeping me up to speed. And also, hi.
Hello, Caspian, the navigator.
We are also joined by the usual wonderful players. We have Chris.
Hello, that's me. I'm Mustaki Head.
We have Pete.
Hi, I'm Roach the Enforcer.
And we have Douglas.
Yeah, Douglas playing Cochrane the Chronicler.
Excellent. Well, we'll carry on where we left off. You made it onto the island with the green haze that was kind of like settling over the island. There was a large building in the center, and you came ashore on this rocky, sort of broken up concrete and undefined liquid stuff pooling in the rock pool areas. As you were sort of making your way towards the large building, you noticed through the haze these dark shapes as they dived down towards you. And indeed, you saw a bunch of large, I think we called them big black seagull shapes, as they dived down towards you. Well, they're diving down towards you en masse. So we'll start ye old initiative, shall we?
On the map, what is it that we're looking at? Are the purple things puddles, or is this land and
yes.
water?
So it's all the kind of broken rocks. So that's all the slightly raised areas. They're sort of probably chest height, and they're undulating, and you can see inside there's sort of broken bits of concrete, and there's some very sickly looking plants trying to grow through it. So, do you believe our first person to go is, for some reason, it's calling me player 4, but whoever player 4 is, I can't remember.
I think that's Moss.
It is indeed Moss. Moss, you're going first.
So they're coming from above, trying to swoop in, right?
They seem to have a lot of sharp talons and beaks.
As we remember from session 1, my weapon is a lovely high-tech bicycle chain,
Yes.
which I'll be swinging over my head like a lasso, trying to deter them from myself.
Okay, that's fine. You kind of like whip it around your head, trying to deter them from attacking you. That's fine. Why don't you make a melee combat roll? See how much you try and avoid them.
Yeah, that's not a success, but no biohazard either, at least. So
Okay.
I could possibly push. Do we push?
You could push it
battle
if you
rolls?
wish. If you want to, yes.
Let's push this then.
Okie dokie. Give it a push.
Nothing can go wrong.
Absolutely.
I swing a bit harder.
You put some effort into it.
Oh no, but there's all the biohazards now.
Dear, that's not good. Right, well,
I overexert myself. I'm now all out of strength.
yes, you kind of whip the chain around your head, and in doing so, you kind of like hit your head with the chain, and you hit the floor unconscious.
Yeah, I knocked myself out. Now I look like Carrion and they'll be distracted.
Out of everyone, you're the lowest of everybody else standing up, so that's a good sign. I think on the positive, Caspian, you're next.
Caspian is going to use his scrap rifle, and he's going to shoot one of these nasty flying beasties. Oh, and I got no successes, 2 biohazard symbols, which means I will not push that.
Yeah, you kind of like shoot into these sort of like large, dark birds. And they're really fast. They're nipping around. And there's a lot of them. You reckon there's maybe 20 or so of them just flying around, kind of like screeching and trying to sort of reach down with their talons and their beaks.
I'll turn to my comrades and say, at which point do we tuck tail between our legs and run back to the boat?
Right. Well, they kind of swoop down on you. They're all going to get an attack. Who is, I guess, Roach? I guess is going to be you because you're the biggest and meanest out of everyone here, I suppose. They are going to have a go at you, my friend.
There you go again. Picket favorites.
Well, in that case, Caspian, they basically dive down at you, and they sort of like are pecking and scratching, and they dive on you. As they do that, they rake your head and your neck and your arms as you're sort of like raising whatever you happen to have above you, and they do 2 damage to you.
To Roach or to Caspian?
To Roach.
Roach.
To Roach.
Okay.
So if you want to take your strength down by 2, kind.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't fail us, Cochrane.
Cochrane, you're up next, kind sir.
Okay. Can we see the building entrance from where we are?
You can. It's a very large building. You can see the entrances. It kind of like goes up into sort of like the greeny, yellowy mist. But yeah, there's a large opening up to the stairs leading into the building.
Okay. And I assume that's a lot closer than the boat because we walk quite a bit of time.
Yes, correct.
Then I will run over and pick up moss and throw moss over my shoulder, fireman style, and start running towards the doorway.
Cool. Make a strength roll to pick up moss.
See if this is off. Nope. You know what? Can I push that?
You can push it if you wish.
I'll push it. This would be useful. 1 success, that took a damage. Oh, I took 2 damage. Oh, I took a lot on that.
You kind of like pick moss up, sort of like throw her over your shoulder, run through the sort of like jagged rocks and stuff, smacking your knees and cracking your knee, your sort of like elbow, and just whacking yourself as you kind of rush straight through all the kind of like broken down bits of concrete and stuff. Okay, cool. But you have moss and you're running for it. That leaves Roach, kind sir. What would you like to do?
Right. I think I will call on my insectoid mutation and I will quickly recover the 2 strength I've lost with spending mutation points.
Do you have to roll for anything for your
Don't know.
mutation?
It doesn't say. It says quickly heal light wounds. Every mutation point spent heals 1 point of damage. Even if you are broken, the mutation can't heal critical injuries. That's all it says.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You just spend the points. Wait, hang on. I think I did read last time when we were doing mutation points, I think you have to make a mutation roll. My memory serves me correctly. So, yes, you want to use your mutations. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
you have to roll to see if there's a mishap.
Yeah, that's the one.
That
So
would make sense. But
you activate your mutation, you spend your mutation points, and then if you that you can't fail when using mutation doesn't mean without risk. Roll 1 basic dice for each point of mutation point you wish to use to activate mutation. If you roll 1 or more radiation symbols, there's a misfire, so you can't push this roll. Okay, do me a favor. Can you roll me 1 dice on basic dice? It could go badly, it could go well. I think it's the first failure of a mutation we've had. Cool. So you suffer the effects of mutation, so that works. So yeah, you recover your health, but you get disorientated and you can't act next turn, unfortunately. Okay. All right. Well, back to the top then. Back to you, sir. What are you going to do? Moss?
This is unconscious.
Yeah, tell me when I wake up. For the time being, I'm just, being dragged around on Cochrane's strong shoulders.
I mean, essentially, as you're being picked up, you can feel sort of like being picked up. You're sort of like semi-conscious. You can't really do very much, but you can kind of basically crawl. That's about all you can do when you're broken. But you don't have to worry about that. You're just being fire carried. You could probably say a few words. That's about it.
I mutter a thank you and curse the birds.
Okay, Caspian.
So Cochrane, with Moss in tow, is making a beeline for the door to the building.
Correct.
Did Roach try to do that as well?
No, Roach basically just hunched down, and all of a sudden, all his shoulder muscles and his head muscles and stuff got really firm.
And you said there were like 20 of these birds?
There's a bunch of them just flying around, screeching and squawking. And
okay. I am also going to make a run for it. Is that a move roll?
It's a move roll.
Okay.
If you get 2 successes in your move roll, you will get to the door this round.
All right, so I'm going to run and I'm going to shout, "There's no shame in retreating! A son of a bitch." No successes and 2 biohazard symbols. I'm not pushing it. No way.
Yeah, you kind of like are sort of neck and neck with the others, but you're kind of, again, finding it really difficult to like move over the uneven ground. You kind of avoid sort of like this 60 putrescent green puddle as you kind of step over that.
Excuse my bad language. We're having shitty rolls today.
Indeed.
I don't think anyone has succeeded at anything except Douglas after he pushed.
Nope.
I still took 2 damage from the through.
Your knees and your sort of like shins are all kind of cut up from the concrete you're whacking as you just like push forward anyway. The birds sort of like start to scatter. They kind of start to move away from Roach, and they sort of like head up, sort of following you three as you're running towards the building. All right, Roach, it's not you. Douglas, what is Cochrane doing?
I'm just going to keep on going to the door.
Okay. If you want to make a move roll, that's fine. You just need 1 success to get there this round.
The chances of not getting anything.
I mean, someone's going to make a pass, right? Apparently,
not on this roll.
Apparently not this combat turn. I take you don't want to push that.
Yeah, that would just bump me down to like 1 agility, and I would be pretty much like, yeah, no.
Our losing streak has not broken yet.
Yes. I mean, no, wait, that's not right. Yeah, you kind of like run with Moss. You kind of like stumbling and kind of doing that, and you kind of get to the steps.
It would be really funny if we all died.
Welcome to episode 9. This is where the party die.
You can skip all the first 9 episodes and just start here.
Just start with the next group. Roach, you're kind of like down, and so this turn you can't do anything. You're just pretty much hunkering down. So I'm afraid that's the end of your go, sir. At the end of the next round, you can go. Right, Caspian. I seem to have missed you somehow.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep running, so if I need to make another move roll, I shall.
Yay!
Finally, I have 2 successes.
Excellent. You can get into the building. You can run past them and get into the building if you want. Yeah, you run into sort of like this large open building. There are no windows, there's no doors on the actual building. But you go through sort of like a large set of what probably would have been at some point a set of double doors, and you make your way in.
The doors are missing?
The doors are missing. There doesn't appear to be any doors on the building.
So these birds could follow us inside?
They could potentially follow you inside, yes.
I hate you.
Yeah, it's kind of easier to hit a bird when it can only fly about 10 feet in the air because of the roof.
Right, well, the crows dive bomb at both Moss and Cochrane. Cochrane, are you going to be using Moss as a shield? Just asking for a friend.
No, but depending on what happens, I might use my reactive mutation.
Okay.
To tank some of that damage, but I'm not sure if I have to say that first. I think it's reactive, so I can wait until
I'm thinking
after.
My mutation would allow me to soak damage, so it might actually be okay.
It would, but you can't technically use anything at the moment unless... Can we blag it? Let's have a look. I think you have to actually... I tell you what, why don't we? I'm going to just make a wits roll for me.
I've got those.
I want 2 successes.
Sure. That's only 1.
Did you want to push it?
Nope.
Okay.
Because there's 2 biohazards in there.
Yeah, you're sort of really kind of still confused. You haven't really sort of like got the wherewithal to sort of activate a mutation, but they are going to have a go at our friendly neighborhood 3. Right then. So yeah, as you're sort of like rushing in, they kind of like claw at you and scratch at the back of your head, and they bite and peck into the back of your head. One of them grabs your sort of like shoulder on the opposite side where Moss is, and sort of is like trying to rake its claws into you. What is the reactive thing that you have, kind sir, that you think you can use?
I harden my skin to like bark, which allows me to tank damage for 1 damage for every mutant point that I spend.
Okay, nice.
And I can just, since it's reactive, I can literally just do it any time. So if you tell me how much damage I'm about to take, it's reactive.
You're about to take 2 damage.
Then I will spend 2 mutant points reactively on that.
So roll 2 mutation points.
So we have got...
Hey, that all works perfectly fine. No problem. Okay, you take no damage. It kind of like, you harden your skin. I mean, presumably that's what it does. It hardens it, right?
hardens it like bark.
Okay. They kind of scratch into the back of your neck and on your shoulder, but do no damage. And turns out it's your turn. I assume you're just going to rush into the building.
You assume correctly, yes.
Okay. You don't need to make a roll for that because you're close enough. And you and Moss get into the building. Roach, you kind of like stand up and realize that you're the only person left out in the open.
Yeah, I guess I'd bet head towards that cloud of black birds.
Okay. Now, if you can, from where you are, if you wanted to make a move roll, if you got 3 successes, you'd be able to just basically pelt it in. Or do you want to kind of take it slow and steady and get ready to smack things?
I'll make my way over at normal pace. I'll have drawn my my scrap axe in case they turn.
Okay. Yeah, indeed they do. They seem to sort of like stop at the building and turn around and then make their way towards you. Caspian, your next, sir. What would you like to do?
So Roach is stuck outside with these damn birds, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I'm going to see if I can help him out from the entryway of this building by taking a few pot shots at the crows.
Take a couple of pot shots, and kind sir.
My God, all these dice. I'm rolling a fistful of dice, like 8 dice, and I've got nothing.
You did get something you haven't seen before.
You have indeed. You've got one of the you've got a 1/1. We've got 2 ones, one on your abilities and one on your actual scrap rifle. So if you were to re-roll that and push it, you're going to damage your scrap rifle, which will make it broken because it's only got 1 dice. I assume you're not going to do that.
I'm not. No.
Yeah, you take some pot shots. It's very difficult to sort of like get aim. They're all over the place. They're flying around. They're quite quick and nippy, but they make their way over to Roach.
Sorry, Roach. Did my best. You're on your own.
Pretty much. Right then, Roach, you see the dark birds coming towards you, and they start to sort of pelt down and rain onto you. All right. Well, hopefully you've got something reactive.
Yeah, it's not reactive. I can put it up before they attack. But
okay, right, yeah, they kind of like dive in on you and they start scratching at your head and your your neck, and they kind of cut you for about 1 damage. Cochrane, anything you particularly want to do from the safety of your building?
I guess I'll put Moss down and see if I can patch her up a bit.
Do you have heal?
I do have heal.
Make a healing roll then, please, sir.
Finally, another success. 1 success.
Moss, you can have 1 strength back, and you are now conscious.
Well, I'll take it. Thank you. Ouch. Whoa, thank you.
Then we move on to Roach outside, who is now taking the full force of about 20 of these dark birds as they all dive bomb you.
I will probably still keep heading towards the building, just not trying to hit, but yeah, just flailing around to try and keep them off me.
You want to make a move roll to see if you rush in? Yep. Slow and steady wins the race. According to Roach, you make your way toward the stairs as they're kind of like crows, and the dark birds kind of like follow you, just hounding you. Imagine the sort of like scene if you've seen the birds, just dive bombing you and kind of up and rake your head and your shoulders. The rest of you can just see Roach just being pelted by birds as he kind of just puts his arms up and just continues to sort of make his way and picks his way through the broken concrete. Right. Well, Moss, you can do something.
Well, I look around. What is in this place? Is there something I could use to, I don't know, maybe rig up a handy slingshot or something?
So you look around. The building is very bland. It's very grey. It's made of the same kind of grey concrete that you'd seen in the buildings that were sticking out of the water, just one zone across. So this is what they must look like at the very bottom of the building. It looks like it's got 4 corridors, which all lead to a central point. And then there are a lot of small rooms from what you can see around the central point. But yeah, that's what you can see.
So there's nothing lying around to improvise something from?
There's nothing laying around. It is just empty.
Not even pebbles to throw at the birds?
There might be some bits of like broken down concrete, maybe you could probably throw, like little pebble-sized things, but you probably don't reckon you'd be able to do too much damage to them.
Yeah, I'll throw those out of desperation as I cheer Roach on. Go on, Roach, go on.
Are there any stairs?
When you look into sort of like the middle of the building, you can see there's 4 sets of stairs leading up to another level. They're all next to each other, going straight up, with these boundaries in between them all.
Kind of boundary, like a concrete boundary?
No, sort of like waist-high boundaries in between each of them. So it looks like there are 4 individual staircases.
Can I run out, grab Roach by his shoulder or something, and yank him back in?
Sure. Why don't you make a move followed by a strength roll?
2 successes.
Cool. Yeah, you dart out, grab him, and pull. So if you want to make a strength roll.
I'm apparently better at moving than I am shooting things. Strength is not my forte, but here we go. Failure.
Yeah, you basically go and grab him and you go to pull, and obviously you're trying to pull him. He's a bit of a lump up the stairs, and you maybe have kind of like, oh, damn it.
I'm going to push it.
You can push it if you wish.
2 successes.
That's very cool. This is what you needed. Yeah, you basically dart out, grab him, think actually he's going to be quite heavy, all your way into it, and you pull him up the stairs.
Come on, you big lug.
As you yank him up the stairs, as the crows dive bombed where he was, and then they kind of like fly off.
Thanks for that, Caspian. But I think I had it.
Hey, by all means, if you want to go back out there, by all means, give it your best shot.
You can hear them cawing and making screeching noises, and you can hear the sounds of their wings beating in the air as they disappear from view.
Well, that was a close call.
Yeah, I think we're safe for the moment, wherever it is.
Check out those stairs. There doesn't seem to be anything else on this ground floor. The stairs go up, right? Or do they also go down?
Yeah, as you kind of like make your way down this corridor, you get to like an open area, and this large open area has at least 4 sets of stairs leading up to a mezzanine floor, which goes all the way around above you. There is a corridor straight ahead of you, to your left and to your right, and they all look very similar. Each one of the corridors that isn't this first one that you just walked down has other rooms kind of attached to them. They probably at one point were all glass fronted, much like you think maybe what the double doors were going into this building, but it's all just cleared out. There's just nothing here. It's very kind of bland and very barren. There are 4 small rooms, each one of the corners of this large, we'll call it an atrium, shall we?
Now, I'm sorry, is that at the top of the stairs?
No, that's down on the atrium where you are. So you can see these 4 sets of stairs going up to one more floor above you, which is like a mezzanine, and they're just wide enough for one person each to go up the stairs. And the stairs are made of metal, and they've got sort of like black railings on. Now that you've got closer,
Do they have like weird grooves as well in the steps?
yeah, they've got weird grooves in the steps. That's correct.
Do we have stairs like this back on the boat?
And you do not have stairs like this back on the boat. If you want to know the zone, I'll let you. If you got know the zone or comprehend, I'll let you make a roll for that.
Well, I have none of those.
Happy to do it. I've 1 success.
Yeah, so you've read somewhere that these stairs used to move.
Ah, the moving stairs of the ancient ones. They must have been a lazy people. No wonder they destroyed themselves. I'm going to go up to that mezzanine level.
Yeah, you go up to the mezzanine level. You can see much like this floor, except it's more open now. But it's the same sort of plan. You've got more of these other rooms, these large rooms in each one of them. There is a bunch of different writing on some of them. Yeah. And there's loads of little symbols.
There's some kind of writing up here, but I'm illiterate.
Cochrane should have a look at those.
Okay, I guess I'll go up the magic stairs and then have a look at these words.
Yep. Make a comprehend roll for me, please.
Comprehension, but I can read.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it looks like names of things, but you reading them out and Caspian kind of like listening to you. It appears these were all some kind of weird named stores or places to eat food or drink.
Like a marketplace.
Like a marketplace, yes. Where they've all come together to sell different things in a marketplace.
Is there any names from that shopping mall that we were in previously?
Yes, there is. There's a similar eatery that they have.
Is it called Dunkin' Donuts?
TM? Can we use that? I don't know. Yeah, why not? There's a Dunkin' Donuts.
Thank God it's Friday.
That's the one.
I'll recognize these ones from that last place we were at. I don't remember there being anything interesting in those ones. Not like the sea far tubes or the other that book I found.
I know. It's a fish and chip shop called the Salt and Battery.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, why not? I like that. So, what do you plan to do?
We should probably check out these rooms, right? And see we came all this way. We took our lumps with those crows. We might as well, overturn every stone and see what's what. So I'll start just going into these rooms and hopefully I won't be alone.
Okay. Well, why don't you have a little bit of a route around? Why don't you do your
scavenger?
Yeah.
Okay. So that means I get a +2 to my find a path. With success, you find any artifacts that may exist in a sector. To identify threats, you must instead get stunts.
Can I assist him by pointing at things and inspire him to
Sure,
look at things
why not?
closer by trying to be helpful?
Go on
What do
then.
you mean you're not singing the shanty or fluting?
Yeah, well, we're not doing shanty sailing at the moment, so I'll be like, oh, look at that thing.
I'll tell you what, make your roll first for me then, please, Douglas.
Well, I have 3 successes. Sorry.
Okay. That's fine. It doesn't make a difference. Okay, cool. You still get 3 successes.
Finally, the dice are with me.
Okay.
Or with us, I should say.
So, well, you've got 3 stunts. So, yeah, you've got 3 stunts.
I have 3 stunts. Okay, so
Yeah.
with stunts, I can identify threats.
Too late for that.
As long as there aren't any other threats besides the crows is essentially what I want to know.
Yeah, it appears that if there was any threats, you think that the crows or the blackbirds have already dealt with that.
Okay, so we only have the crows to worry about. So now I have 2 stunts left.
You do?
Artifacts, please.
Let's see, are there any artifacts here? Let's have a look. Let's do a secret squirrel roll. Okay. Yeah, so you, what are the other things you want to look for? So you've looked for threats. There aren't any. You're looking for artifacts. And what else?
I want to assess the general level of rot in the building.
It's a strong level of rot. You're going to take 1 rot point every hour that you're here.
Oh, we're not hiding from the birds for long, I guess.
And as you kind of are looking around, you realize that the sort of like greeny, sort of like yellowy mist is sort of like in the building as well. And you kind of are looking around with Cochrane, and you come across what looks like a store that had lots of things to mount things. And you're like, oh, okay, what's this? And as you kind of like have a bit more of a rummage, you find something that's fallen over in the store. And it looks a bit like the safe that you found back in the other building. When you open it, it's actually slightly ajar. You pull out an honest to goodness old world assault rifle.
That's amazing. Put that in my character sheet, please.
That is definitely going to go into your gear.
Generous game master.
I know. What can I say?
Does it have bullets?
It does not. I'm only going to do so much for you, sir.
So the bullets that I have don't work with the assault rifle.
Technically, they would do, so you could put them in there.
Also, like, it'd be a small fortune to fire like 1 mag of. It's like 30 bullets.
Yeah.
Like everyone's bullets. And you'd be like, Dad, just ammo clipped, magged up. And
Caspian feels like a millionaire.
You would be.
All right. The rod is really strong here. This green haze is not going to do us any favors. The longer we stay here, the worse it'll get for us. We should make whatever we're going to do in here, we should do it quickly, and then we should skedaddle back to our catamaran.
What does Roach and Moss want to do while Cochrane and Caspian are searching around?
I mean, I guess I'm still sort of feeling a bit shit. Remind me, strength I regained from eating, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So I'll
And you
just,
need your rest.
huddle in a corner and, stretch out my legs and eat a snack.
Okay, that makes sense. Sure. And it's the number of bits of food that you eat determined by the number of strength you want back. But that does mean that you're going to spend a bit of time sitting around doing that.
Does Roach need a snack too?
I'll probably spend my time while you're sitting down. I'll be wandering round through the stores, picking up bits of rubbish, holding it up and shouting across to Moss saying, "Is this any use?"
Okay.
I mean, I'll absolutely want everything that's the right size to just throw at the fucking birds.
I mean, it seems that your weapons were not very effective against the birds.
Yeah, in some of these side rooms, are there any bits and pieces that look like plastic models of parts of human beings?
No, they're pretty bland. You probably find some plinths that might have had them on, maybe. But other than that one thing that Caspian managed to find, everything else looks like it's been either taken or pulled off its hinges, or it's just gone.
Yeah, so I'm relying on Moss to come up with some ideas of use of anything I find.
While you look around, each one of those 4 rooms in the corners of the atrium are a staircase going up to higher up in the building, like proper staircases where they kind of like spiral up, or they go around in a sort of like a square or whatever, rather than the straight weird little stairs that you had going up to the mezzanine.
I'll bring this to Caspian and Cochrane's attention and suggest...
Yeah, we can have a look around upstairs after my head stops ringing quite so much.
Okay. Yeah, so you sort of like take sort of like you're going to take sort of, a good maybe 15, 20 minutes to rest, at which point can you all take a point of rot?
Of course, I think Marco's waving his finger.
Oh, wait, there's unless you don't need to.
No. So I have my parasite ability. I can do a few things. One of them I have a question about. It says I can heal another humanoid's trauma. Does trauma mean the attribute loss?
Damage. Yeah, correct.
Okay. So if I spend 1 mutant point on Roach, I can heal his 1 point of strength.
Absolutely.
But that means that I take that damage myself.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure that trauma meant that it was an attribute.
Trauma is any damage, damage.
Okay. Since my strength is really low, I don't know that I'm ready to do that yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much.
It's a nasty version of Cure Light Wounds.
And I will point out that I'm still flushing that food that Lawkeepers had given us, so I would be willing to share.
I'm going to still ask everyone to make a rot roll if they can do.
If anybody's still down in strings, like do let me know.
I have a biohazard symbol on my rot roll.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think I picked up mine. Lots of 2s.
Okay, lots of 2s. So everybody else, you take a point of rot, but you don't take any damage. Unfortunately, Marco, you were not so lucky. So you take, every time you suffer a rot point, you immediately roll a number of base dice equal to your total amounts of rot points. Every one you roll, you suffer 1 point of damage, which is trauma to your strength.
Okay.
But the rest of you are fine. Well, I say you're fine, you get a point of rot, but okay.
So there's more upper bits, obviously, by the looks of it.
There are.
Is there any signage on the staircase that says, like, what's up there?
It says apartments.
Anyone know what an apartment is? That's me asking the group.
Make a comprehend roll.
0 comprehend, so can I make that roll?
If someone's got comprehend, they can make the roll. If they don't have comprehend, they can't make the roll.
Just for your own knowledge, I can also steal attribute points from people.
Yes.
I can comprehend stuff, apparently. Look,
excellent.
1 success.
Cool. Yeah, apartments are where places where people used to live in the old world in large buildings.
My goodness, what a fancy word. Why don't you just say, like bunk or something?
Yeah, cabin. But, that's what we call it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Lots of cabins. Land cabins. I like that. And that is above you.
What, shall we go have a look at the land cabins?
I
don't feel so well. I think we should get out of here.
I would have loved to see what the old ones that used to live like.
Yeah,
that's probably all ruined anyway. The state of this
probably
place.
Go have a look because don't want to come back here, And what time of the day is it now?
So this is, I think you arrived here in sort of like the afternoon, so it's kind of getting towards the evening.
Like, is it the sun's starting to go down?
Wait, no, it's mid-afternoon. So no, I lied because you were in the previous zone, and then you stayed there the night.
Aha!
You came across,
you
didn't
liar!
So,
I knew you were a liar.
It's the afternoon sort of shift.
I mean, I'm still sort of thinking I want something to whack birds with, like somebody might have a nice bat or something in their in their land cabin. Might be worth a look. Come on. We'll hurry up. Caspian, don't worry.
Okay, but I might steal somebody's strength. It's in my nature.
I can just give you food. I know. Grob's just not that tasty. People are so much more delicious. Nice and fresh.
I think you've got a convert there, Caspian.
Ah, yes, it's working.
Besides, we lost all our stuff in our previous cabin, so it might be, these land cabins might have something nice for our cabin back in the boat.
Could be.
Okay, fine. But I'm warning you. It is within my nature to steal the strength of others.
How often can we use our mutations?
You can use them as much as you want. Once per round, essentially.
Ah, right.
As long as you have the mutant points to spend.
Reactions, apparently, you can just spam as much as you want.
Yes, pretty much.
Or do the rules, it's the other things, which, yeah.
Right. So, if you want to vampirize me, then Caspian, by all means do so. I owe you for pulling me into the building anyway, so.
You do, Roach. But I'm not yet desperate. I'll let you know. We're getting there.
So, what's the plan then?
Let's have a quick look. See, just real quick.
We're gonna check out
no shenanigans.
these land cabbages.
Maybe there's a nice picture we could put up in our cabin, a nice landscape or something like that. Maybe an Andy Warhol or something. We were like, what on earth is this?
They really like their tomato soup.
Yeah, they seem to really like this Campbell.
Okay. You go up the stairs. They're very much like the stairs you went up in the previous buildings when you were in the buildings that were sticking out of the sea. Okay. You make your way up to the third floor, and it's the same sort of layout that you've seen before. You come out of the out of the staircase, and you've again got this sort of like cross section, like a left or right, a straight on and down. There's a central sort of like area which has these little rooms in that don't go anywhere, but you've got a whole bunch of apartments that are numbered.
Does anyone still have their doors?
It appears all the doors are either gone or are broken down.
Shame.
With lots of like scratch marks and sort of like chips in the doors. You can see that some of the numbers are missing.
Let's pick an apartment. I'll go to the closest on the right.
Okay, you pick an apartment, you go in. The apartment seems to be made of a number of rooms, a larger room, a smaller room, 2 medium-sized rooms, and a room which you know is a bathroom because you have them on board the ship. So essentially, when you look through them, you figure one might be our main lounge, one's a kind of dining room, kind of kitchen, and then there's 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. And this one has a very large open window which goes out onto a small little balcony. There is nothing in here. It looks like the place has been picked apart.
I'll move to the next apartment.
Cool. You do the same thing. You have a look. It's very similar. It's almost identical, but swapped around, almost like they have mirrored the previous apartment you were in.
Very imaginative, these ancient architects.
Again, it looks like everything has been picked apart. There's nothing there. And as you go through the rest of the floor, you find that it is pretty much the same across the board.
This is boring.
There's nothing here. We should get back.
And this is floor number 3 of 50.
Not worth it.
The higher we go, is the rot less? Would I know something like that?
Maybe if you got right to the top, you might have less rot if the rot is to do with the green, sickly, yellowy mist that you're walking around in.
Not the purple haze, but the green haze.
The green haze, yes, not the bad haze.
Can I go out onto the balcony where I think is facing towards where we parked the boat?
Oh, yeah, you might be able to see where we are in relation to
and maybe we could, since we're like a bird's eye view, pun intended, plot or like a decent route, a quick route. If we're like, that looks like a quick escape route, because obviously you were doing like navigation from the ground, but now we're above the ground. We could be like, oh yeah, that's a quicker route to get back.
Yeah, you go and stand out onto the balcony, and you look towards where your ship is. All you can see is this green haze, maybe about 3 or 4 foot in front of your face. And then it just goes into this green haze and you can't see anything. But you do suddenly hear the sound of cawing and screeching coming from above you.
I'll duck back in.
You duck back in and you can hear the sound of wings taking flight and coming towards where you were on the balcony.
Guess I'll leave that room and be like, I think the birds are coming back.
Is there a door to this apartment that we're in?
Roll me a d6. There's a 1 or a 2, there's a door. No door. Right. You make your way into the corridor. You can hear the sound of the screeching of the birds outside, but they don't seem to come into the building.
Okay. Maybe they know something we don't.
Right. What's the plan?
Well, we're either going to go higher and spend the night in this building and try to find a place above the level of this building that's above the green haze, or we're going to take our chances in the dark getting back to.
When I heard the birds like coming from me on the balcony, did they sound like they were coming from above me? Yeah. So I would imagine the birds are probably living on the higher floors. That seems to be where they came from.
Remembering the night with the rats, I'm like, yeah, I'm sort of willing to take my chances out there in the dark, you know?
Agreed. Shall we leave? I mean, if they're in the building above us, they haven't come down to these floors, so might be a couple of extra floors, you know.
Do you know if birds can see in the dark?
I do not know.
Can I examine the scratches and chips on the doors and see if it reminds me of the ones on the previous building we were in?
It does not, no.
Like, it might be easier to sneak away from the birds if they're in the dark.
If you've got a know the zone roll, you can make a know the zone roll.
I know nothing about the zone either.
I do. Should I do it?
Yeah. Feel free.
I pitch this question to everyone.
Success.
So the scratches and the picking look or they would resemble the scratches and the picking you might get from crows' claws and beaks.
So they are in the building.
So they clearly have essentially picked clean the apartments.
So these birds are heavily armed, is what you're saying. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, what a shame. The haze looked so pretty from a distance, you know? Who knew that it was going to be such a disappointment from close up?
Okay. You make your way down to the ground floor and make your way back to the entrance to the building. What's the plan?
Run like hell?
Run like hell? That requires a move roll.
I mean, unless anyone else has a better idea.
Yeah, sorry. I was hoping we'd find something nice in there, but that was nothing.
Like,
Well, someone
I
did
don't
find
think
something nice.
going out a back door is going to help us or anything because they'll just attack us.
I mean,
We go out the back
feel
door,
free.
probably.
If you want to go out the back door, there is a back door, but it's the opposite direction to your boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like I would be willing to expend bullets in the hopes of, like, I don't know, building a distraction or something.
Besides, they might just be being territorial. So once we get far enough away from the building, they might just not care anymore.
Yeah. Cochrane, you're such an optimist. So I failed my move roll. I think I'm going to push that one. I do have one biohazard symbol, which means I'll take at least 1 damage.
You will.
Douglas,
I'm going to push my move roll, though.
Okay, so I have 1 success on my push, and I've taken 1 agility damage.
No damage, but I failed my push.
That's 1 success. 2 successes.
2 successes for you. Right. Pete, what about
Is
Roach?
this like in Coriolis where I can help out somebody who have got an extra success?
I'm happy for you to do that, yeah.
That sounds like an appropriate stunt.
That seems like a perfect stunt, yeah.
I'll repay the favor, and this time I drag Cochrane.
Okay, I like that. But that just leaves Roach.
I'm going to pause inside the building for a moment and use another element of my mutation to harden my skin. So I'm going to spend 2 mutation points.
Okay, you want to make a mutation roll? Hope for a good roll. Hear me. Woohoo!
1
More
success
mutation points.
and 1 biohazard symbol.
We don't really care about the successes when you're making mutation roll. We
Okay.
only worry about the biohazard roll. Unfortunately.
Right, so
Yeah, okay.
you want me to roll another one?
Trauma, isn't it? Or something
Another
like that.
D6.
Do it again.
So again, it will take effect, but you just take an extra round longer than the rest. So that you're like, okay, hang on, folks. I'll be right behind you. They run and they leg it, and you wait too long as you kind of really, really focus. And then when you look up, they're not there. They basically run into the green mist. You're on your own. As you hear the sound of crows and dark birds taking flight and starting to scream.